The field has gotten smaller, and so has the margin for error as we move inside the Coliseum here at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin for event 11 for the individuals. It's an AMRAP, as many reps as possible, Chase. We don't see it often here at the game.
We don't, but it's really as many pegboards as possible. This is a pegboard dominant event. 1 pegboard ascent, 7 single overhead squats, and that's just on one side. You don't have to do each with a 50 and 70, and 15 heavy double unders. Those overhead squats and double unders are just all interference for that pegboard.
225 reps is the score to beat, and that mark belongs to Danielle Brandon, who did that in the first of these 2 heats.
Again, last time we saw an event that involved a pegboard, a dumbbell, and a jump rope was in 2019, and this was after we cut to 10. Tia won that event. There's a lot of athletes in this field that weren't a part of that. Laura Horvath on the right, who's currently holding on to a slight lead on Kristen Holta, wasn't a part of that top 10, but the last time she did a pegboard event, she beat Tia Toomey in it, and that was the final event in 2018.
The top 4 women all got to that jump rope at about the same time. Tia Toomey is just doing what she does. She has never had to finish outside of the top 6.
Now
she's won 5 events so far.
This is where I was saying it's a sneaky way to get you to start your pegboard climbs sooner than you're used to. Tia started her 2nd rep at the 45-second mark. Just think if I told you, Sean, we're going to do an EMOM every minute on the minute, 1 pegboard ascent. You're like, absolutely not. Maybe 1 for the 10 minutes. Now you're throwing in overhead squats with a dumbbell, heavy double unders with a jump rope. Tia just got a no rep for depth. Right, and we're saying that saving seconds, being efficient, doing as little extra work as possible to make sure we save ourselves for the challenging part that is the pegboard.
Tia Toomey to the jump rope ahead of Haley Adams. Laura Horvath right now in 3rd place in the heat. Kristen Holta in 4th. The difference between spots now, as far as points are concerned, is just 5 points all the way through.
And that is a major change from the 9 to 10 events we've already gone through, because that means if you get a middle place finish, 10th, you lose 45 points on the athlete that you were trying to compete against, maybe that who got first. So Haley can do herself a huge favor, because look, she's only 19 points out of a podium position. That's a matter of, now see, that's tough, because those are expensive reps, and if you miss at the bottom on your way down, that's tough, because now Haley jumped right back up. That could be out of panic. Hopefully it was out of confidence, but I don't want that to end up biting her, because we still have a long time to go.
Tia Toomey is still your leader. Laura Horvath is in 2nd. Kristen Holta is in 3rd. Holta is in the green shorts and black top on the left of your screen doing her overhead squats. And Tia Toomey just continues to crank out reps and is now in round number 5.
And I like this event for Laura Horvath. We said her, background rock climbing for years, so she has the grip strength and the pulling strength. This is a lot different than what you see a lot of people do, but Tia, if you watch, she's just got such upper body strength as she does this. That's a real benefit for her.
Tia Toomey just continuing to sprint through this event through 75 reps. Laura Horvath now is getting to the dumbbell. Horvath, you mentioned the background in climbing. She had junior and national titles for Hungary for 3 consecutive years, starting at 15 years old.
So Tia finishing up, going back.
Annie Thorisdottir currently in 3rd place in the heat right now.
Annie's just having a great comeback season so far, quietly sitting in the top 10.
Annie finishing up her final single arm dumbbell overhead squat and moving on to those weighted double unders.
She took a 2nd place in event number 9. Best finish of the competition for Annie Thorisdottir.
Can't miss them in lanes 5 and 6.
Thorisdottir going back to the pegboard. Tia Toomey in the middle of your screen in the red shorts, continuing to lead now through 100 total repetitions. She is in her 6th round, and if Tia Toomey can get ahead of Danielle Brandon, she will break the record and set the new record for career event wins at 30. Currently tied with Matt Fraser right now for 29.
I remember when we were talking about event wins between Sam Briggs and Josh Bridges, that was at like 11 or 12. Now watch Tia Toomey climb the pegboard. Arms bent. That is a technique you would use for if it was a pure pegboard. Keeping the arms at 90. You're more powerful when you have your hands closer to your body. And Tia has just such incredible upper body pulling strength when it comes to the pegboard.
Mal O'Brien currently sits in 10th place overall. She is in round number 6, and she does have an event win under her belt. Did that on Wednesday here inside the Coliseum when she beat Tia Toomey in event number 4. Tia Toomey continues to lead with 123 total repetitions. 225 is the score to beat. Remember, the athletes will not move down the floor. The chess pieces will advance. The Tia Toomey's chess piece, and when she finishes this round of double unders, it is on the left side of your screen. The judge will come in and move that to round 7.
And that's just a sneaky way to keep the intensity very high for these athletes, to where you usually get a break walking your chess piece down, walking back to the pegboard. You get a rest for your arms. So if you're staying right in front of the rig, it just keeps you coming back. But I am very impressed by the pace that Tia Toomey is still holding on to. Now, we are just past over the halfway mark of this event, and a lot can happen, because if you blow up once, you can lose the 30-second advantage that you have on Laura Horvath.
Amanda Barnhart right now is in 8th place in the heat.
We said this was probably going to be an issue unless she shored up her technique.
7th place overall with 706 points, 23 back of Christy Aramo O'Connell for 6th. It's about a little more than 4 minutes to go before we hit the 11-minute time cap, and it is Tia Toomey who is all by herself in front, much like Danielle Brandon was in heat number 1. Brandon, her score has been updated now, 226 reps that she completed.
Now Tia Toomey is no longer gaining time on Laura Horvath. She's still ahead. She hasn't lost any, but she hasn't been gaining as much ground as she had, taking a little bit more of a break between climbs, where Laura Horvath's pace has been pretty steady the whole way through.
Laura Horvath right now is 2nd in the heat. She's trying to hold off Kristen Holta. Holta sits in 3rd place overall, and right now Holta is in 7th.
Now on the right side of the screen, watch Laura Horvath climb the pegboard. Much different than anybody else does. That's a climbing technique. A lot of climbers, when they're moving up a rock wall, is they'll have their arms extended with a very loose grip on their hands to save their forearms and shoulders. That is her climbing background coming into play here for this pegboard event.
Both Horvath and Toomey are in round 9. Toomey is now advanced into round number 10. Looking for her 6th event win of the competition and to be the career leader for both men and women in event wins with 30.
And this just shows you the difference of techniques, as Tia has that bent arm thing, but look at the impact that it has on her biceps and shoulders. She has this stability, endurance, and strength to withstand that, but a lot of athletes don't. And that's why I like to see Laura Horvath leaning into her background as a climber, making the pegboards a bit easier for her upper body as she works through this event.
Haley Adams came into this event 14 points back of Kristen Holta for 3rd place and a spot on the podium. Adams right now is in 5th place in the heat. Kristen Holta sits in 7th. If that were to stand, Adams would pick up 10 points, and now a no rep for Haley Adams on the pegboard.
And I'm trying to, you have to establish a bottom position below that red line for it to count, and I'm just not sure. I didn't see her at the top, so she might have just not got as high as she should have and just came down to take a break. And that'll be the second no rep Haley has gotten on a pegboard at the very bottom.
Kristen Holta has pulled within one spot in this heat of Haley Adams as Tia Toomey is in round 11. And we have a little more than a minute to go, 226. That is the score to beat.
Now, I said Tia was slowing down a little bit and Horvath was catching up. Maybe she heard me say that because she's sped up quite a bit since that moment.
Haley Adams has run into some trouble here on the pegboard. No trouble so far for Tia Toomey, who is creeping closer to her record-setting 30th career event win.
They gotta keep working all the way through these athletes with about 30 seconds.
And the count now stands at 30 wins for Tia Toomey. Now she's just trying to run up the score. 20 seconds to go, and Toomey's going to hit the pegboard.
Why not? She doesn't know where anybody's at. She doesn't care. She's racing herself out here.
Toomey to the top. Now the question is, can she make it beneath the red line and show control? Final couple of seconds. And I think she did it. That was close. Wow, that was close. I think Tia Toomey may have made it and gets credit for yet another rep. She already got credit for the win, but 30 career event wins for Tia Toomey. Matt Fraser is now second with 29. Sixth win of the competition. Overall standings now after 11. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. 1,045 points. Her lead stands at nearly 200 now over Laura Horvath, who sits in second place. Horvath now 35 up on Kristen Holta. Christy Arama O'Connell is now in fourth as Haley Adams slides back down one spot. She sits in fifth place overall.
That was a tough go for Haley Adams. 2 no reps in an event that she should have been better at. And we do have one more coming up this evening, but Horvath solidifying her second place a bit more over the next 2 athletes.
Men coming up next. Stay with us at the 2021 NOBULL CrossFit Games.